And the Power STEM is an A-level course boutique. We run A-level courses in biology, chemistry, physics, and maths for those students that want to enroll in medical, dental, veterinary, financial, and engineering programs at the chosen university in the UK. Today, I wanted to talk about a topic which it's a question that parents ask us all the time, and it's this. It's Graeme. No, look, you've got to help me out here on this one, because I see my teen upstairs. I see my son, my daughter upstairs in the room, and they're putting in the hours. They're up there all day Saturday and all day Sunday. I bring them a cup of tea and some biscuits. And they're doing these marathon study sessions into the middle of the night, and then they're trying to get up the next day and go to college. Spending hours at the desk. But the problem is that they're not remembering what they're learning. There's no recall there because the grades aren't showing it. What do I do? Well, the problem is parents think that more hours equals better results. And it makes sense when you think about it. On the surface level, it makes sense. If you practice something more, well, then logically you should get better at it. Like if you wanted to play a musical instrument, the more hours you spend practicing playing the musical instrument, logically you would think the better you would be at playing the musical instrument. Not quite. Okay. And so what I'm going to do in this live stream is I'm going to show you how your teen can retain more information without burning out. Okay. Because this is the problem, is that, like I said, parents think my teen needs to spend more hours studying. And so there's this continuum. Either they're not putting in enough hours, and the parents know that they're not putting in enough hours. They're not cracking open the textbooks. Okay. To they're putting in a reasonable number of hours each week studying A-level chemistry, biology, physics, maths. They're not getting the grade results they want, or they're putting in so much time and effort that they're burning out. Okay. And so, again, what parents think is that they think that the teen, the son, the daughter, really should be putting in hours and hours of work. To them, they're thinking, well, my son, my daughter is upstairs on the weekend. They're putting in 6 to 8 hours of study time, these marathon sessions, and the grade isn't moving. Why not? Very first question they get asked. All right. And there's a reason for this. Now, look, at all the courses that we run at Empower STEM, they're all built on neuroscience. And so I'm going to answer this question for you from the perspective of neuroscience. And it's this. Cramming doesn't work. Why not? It's called cognitive overload. Big fancy phrase there, cognitive overload. What it means is this, is that your mind can only process so much information at one go. So imagine right now I'm thinking, the highways in LA, in California, in LA, imagine you've got a 2-lane highway, and you've got enough cars for an 8-lane highway. Well, you're going to get kind of backed up, right? Because there's not enough bandwidth going down the highway to get all the cars onto it. And it's the same thing if students try to cram. They try to cram all this information in. It's too much information going in, all right, to the information highway in your teen's mind. And so it doesn't work. They get burnt out. The brain just begins to forget things. And so the key bit is this, parents, is that it's not about more time. It's about better use of time. And this is the key difference. This is the distinction, okay? It isn't about spending hours and hours and hours sitting in front of a desk, in front of a computer screen, trying to do some passive learning, watching YouTube videos, trying to cram all the information in, trying to memorize mark schemes. What it is about using that time effectively. Okay, so here we go then. This is what I mean, because you say, well, Graeme, okay, what exactly do you mean by the effective use of time? Well, again, this comes from the 6 principles of neuroscience. Okay, the 6 principles of neuroscience as applied to learning. All right, is this one? Is number 1 is space practice. What this means is that you don't do the marathon session. So when students are on a call with me, they say, oh, well, Graeme, I don't get it. I'm doing A-level biology. And you know what? I spend 8 hours on a Saturday, just doing the past paper questions. And I get more and more wrong at the end of it. I get really upset. And I go, So let me ask you a question. Yeah. What was the last movie that you watched? I don't know. It's probably some Marvel Universe movie these days, right? How long was it? About 90 minutes. Why? You know why it's not 3 hours long? Why is that? Because people would get bored. They have an attention span. And so after about 90 minutes, you really begin to get bored of doing it. And so space practice, what this means is this, is that you space out your study, you space out your revision throughout the week. Okay, so like Monday you may do chemistry, Tuesday you may do biology, Wednesday you may do chemistry. Okay, so you space it out into these 1 hour or 90-minute blocks of time. Now, the 90 minutes come from the idea that more than 90 minutes, you're really beginning to push the envelope, okay, of what your mind can actually handle. So number 1, space practice. You space out the study sessions for your teen, number 1. But number 2 is active recall. Now, again, look, at Empowered STEM, we do all of these topics I'm talking about. All of these things I'm talking about are included in the courses, okay? But active recall, it's this. Let's throw out the idea of passive learning. You go, passive learning, what's that? That means watching YouTube videos and hoping to learn something. You know, I'll just watch a YouTube video on somebody explaining how to do the question. No. Or I'll just reread the textbook. I'll just highlight my notes. You know what I'll do? I'll just copy over my notes, make them all nice and neat. I heard about colors and everything else. No. Look, active learning means this, is you're actively engaging with the material. So flashcards, explain it to somebody else, teach somebody, do the question with the answers covered up. Everything is active learning. You're actually engaging with the material. Because now think about it, parents, think about it. If you wanted to learn how to play the piano, are you actually going to sit in front of the keyboard and actually try to do the keys? Or are you going to watch somebody else do it? Oh, I'll just watch somebody play the piano. That will do. Yeah, okay. All right. So I watch them do. Well, of course you're not. And so when it comes to learning, why are you sitting there passively trying to do something? Like, no, you have to get in there and actually do it, right? You have to make the mistakes. You have to learn. It's called, engaging with the materials. Now, third one then is interleaving. You say, well, Graeme, what on earth is interleaving? Think chapters of a book. All right, so let's say chemistry. We'll break it down. Number 1, let's say you've got the space practice. Like Monday you're doing chemistry and Tuesday you're doing biology. Okay, and so on Monday then, if you're doing chemistry, you're going to break it down. So the first hour, what you're going to do is you're going to do a year 12 topic. You're going to do organic reactions from year 12 for an hour. Take a 15-minute break. Yes, 15-minute break. This means get up out of your chair, by the way, and walk around outside. There is actually sunlight outside, right? Your teenager, they won't melt like a vampire if they go outside and see the sun. All right. It does not mean, oh, I'm taking a break. I'm on my phone I got to look at all my Facebook and WhatsApp and no, Instagram. No, I mean, you get up and you walk around, you move your body and everything else, get some water, get a snack and everything else. And then you come in, and the second hour, what you're going to do is something else. And so you may do year 13, you may do rates of reaction to year 13. So organic versus physical. This is interleaving. Now, why do you do this? Simple. What it does is this, is that it stops your brain from getting bored. Going back to the playing the piano. Can you imagine if for 2 hours you sat there and you played the same exact song? I know. You think, I'm bored. So of course, you play different songs, don't you? The same thing with interleaving. You break up the subjects. Now, what you do, if you're really smart, you use what's known as a synoptic link. Now, what a synoptic link is that the year 12 topic that is linked to the year 13 topic. Because in A-level chemistry, for example, right, the year 12 topics are indeed linked to the year 13. And so you may do a year 12 topic, and then you may link it to a year 13 topic, synoptic link. Advantage of doing that is that you're now learning twice as fast, because year 12 feeds into year 13. Year 13 depends on year 12. You go back and forth, okay? And you'll see these in the exam questions. Now, real world example, parents. Let's bring it back to the real world example. If you wanted to get fit, would you go down to the gym, say, once a day and work out for an hour? Now, if you're like me, look, I'm old school. All right, it's like, yes, I've got the free weights, I've got the dumbbells, okay. And yeah, Monday is chest, Tuesday is back, Wednesday is the shoulders, Thursday is arms, Friday is legs, okay. Yeah. All right. Saturday, you take the dog for a walk around the park. Right. And I do it for an hour. Really intense. It's known as the Pomodoro effect. Really intense bit. Pomodoro effect. In there for an hour, I am doing the chest exercises, I'm doing the back exercises, whatever, right? Not, what I'll do to get fit is I'll just pop down to the gym on the weekend and I'll spend 6 hours working on every body part I can possibly think of. No. Why? Well, because first off, unless you were Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime, you're not going to last 6 hours down the gym doing it. And number two, you're going to get burnt out and probably pull a muscle. All right. So if you're not going to do it just with physical exercise, why do you expect your team to do it when it comes to studying? Okay. Now, hopefully we're making sense so far, but here's some practical strategies, because I always like to include a takeaway with the parents in these live streams, right? Practical strategies. Number one is break down your teen's study time into manageable blocks. Okay, you can either use a 45-minute block of time. Say, I'm in for 45 minutes. This, by the way, means earbuds out, phone off, distraction-free zone. We talk about this. All right. I'm going to concentrate for 45 minutes. Then I'm going to take a break. And then I'll come back and do something else. Now, the 90 minutes come in from maybe you're doing past paper questions and you need a longer block of time, 90 minutes. But do you notice that even at the end of year 13, the exam is capped at 2 hours? Why? Well, they know the students can't go beyond 2 hours. By then, they're really getting tired. Okay, so a definite block of time, 45 minutes or 90 minutes, depending on what your teen is working on. Number two, make sure your teen they're doing active learning. They're not doing passive learning. They're not rereading textbooks, looking at YouTube videos. They're not looking at study guides. They're not memorizing mark schemes. No, they're actually in there. They're actually doing the question. They're actually engaging with the material, okay? And so this could be, like I said, it could be flashcards. It could be they got to teach someone else. This is a Richard Feynman technique. He said this: if you can teach somebody else the topic, then you must know it. And so if they come to you and say, Mom, Dad, can I go teach you organic mechanisms? Go for it. Yeah. All right. And self-testing. Yeah, I mean, like I said, cover the question, the answer up, do the question. Did you get it? Yes. If you didn't, work on it. If you did, brilliant, move on to the next one. Mix up the subjects and the topics. This is the interleaving bit. All right. They can't sit down for 6 hours in a row and do A-level chemistry. Nobody can. And so if they're working on A-level chemistry, it could be year 12, take a break, year 13, take a break for A-level chemistry, and then it could be year 12 and year 13 A-level biology. All right, so year 12, year 13 A-level math. Mix and match the topics. Right? Mix and match everything, the subjects, okay? Now, something else that they need to do is they need to have a plan. I know. Now look, it seems obvious, right, parents? I know. And I know you love your son and your daughter very, very much. But how are their organization skills? Right. What they need is they need a weekly revision schedule. They do. And so they know what they're doing. Now, think about it. The top CEOs of large corporations, their schedule is planned out for the week, by their assistant. And so your teen, their schedule should be planned out for the week as well. And you can help them do this. And so they know, right, tonight I'm doing A-level chemistry. Oh, tomorrow I'm doing A-level biology. Then I'm doing A-level maths. Then I'm doing year 12. I'm doing year 13. You map it out. Now, ideally, what we recommend is that they do this on a Sunday afternoon. You map out the week Sunday afternoon, all right? And then at the end of every night, you make sure you got the next day planned out. Look, studies show those students that are planned, they know what they're doing for the week, they use the time more effectively. And you and I both know the time stops for no one. And so let's not waste time, right? Now, you say, yeah, Graeme, fantastic. Love it, but does this actually work? Yes, it does. Now look, we have loads and loads of student testimonials. Let me go tell you the one about Allison, because I think Allison is perfect for this one. When Allison came to us, she was taking A-level chemistry in year 13. Her parents invested in one of our courses, and she admitted, what her weakness was. What her Achilles heel was. She wasn't organized. No. Oh, well, I mean, Graeme, I'm doing chemistry, I'm doing biology, I'm doing maths, I'm trying to do some year 12, I'm trying to do some year 13, or maybe I should be revising some papers, or I'll do some mock exams. So, sat her down, and we put a revision schedule together for her, a study plan. And we showed her the 6 techniques, the 6 principles of neuroscience that we use in all of our courses. So we've got it organized. Let's call it on day 0 before the course actually started. All right. And she went through the course, attended all the lessons, all the extracurricular activities we bake into all of our courses, all of the neuroscience. She ate, slept, and drank A-level chemistry. And you know what? She moved from a D to an A and got into the university of her choice, and now she's studying biomedical science. Now, when we asked her, well, what do you think made the difference? Well, obviously, it was improved grades. I mean, it's just lovely. Isn't it lovely, when you see the report card at college, and the grade is just improving and improving and improving on every exam, all of a sudden, you're not just, scraping by a passing grade. Oh, I didn't get this right. I forgot to revise that. No, she walked into the exams, the tests at school with confidence because she knew what she was doing. And of course, it looped back in because when the confidence increased, her study effectiveness, revision planning increased, everything spiraled upwards, and all of a sudden she had more confidence overall, put more time into the course, walked out with an A. Because, like I said, parents, look, we know it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. Right? A very famous saying, you can run to the east as fast as you want, but you'll never see a sunset. Or, if you go back to the bodybuilding idea with Arnold Schwarzenegger, he said the same thing. Look, he always had a plan. He always knew what he was doing every day. It isn't like he just showed up to the gym and thought, oh, I'll just go lift some weight for like 6 hours. No. All right. So what I'm getting at is this, is with the right strategies in place, that we teach at Empowered STEM, your teen, they will retain more information, number one. Number two, they will be less stressed. And number three, they will enjoy the process. So think now, parents, you're thinking, do you want your teen to retain more? So at the end of every hour that they spend revising, chemistry, biology, physics, or maths, they've actually retained more. They're actually less stressed. Now, yeah, A-levels are a stressful time for teenagers, but I think you know what I mean, right? You don't want your teenagers stressed if you can help them out. I actually want them to enjoy the process, enjoy learning. Right. Now, let me end on this note then, parents, is this. Look, if what I'm saying is making sense to you, go, yeah, actually, Graeme, you know what? This was a useful live stream. Then do me a favor, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel because we're always putting these live streams out, always here at Empower STEM to serve the parents in whatever way that we can. All right. So if you want more insights, more tips on how to help your teen get the A or the A star in A-level maths, A-level science, and by all means subscribe. But if you're interested in our courses, if you're thinking, you know what Graeme's talking about is making sense. I am interested in learning more about the A-level biology, chemistry, physics, and math courses that they offer at Empower STEM, then it's really easy. In the description, is that right, team? Yeah. In the description, there's a link, all right, that you can click on, and you can connect with a member of our team. And, you know, parents, I'll tell you right now, it is a non-sales call. It's just a chat between you and a member of our team. We'll explain to you what we do at Empower STEM. We'll explain to you how our courses work, and we'll see if it's a good fit for your teen. All right. So, hope you found value in this one. Everybody take care, and I'll see you in the next one.